Hi, it's Bumble. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a bit sleepy right now. I just finished watching this movie with my friends like a couple minutes ago. This is, I think, like my second time seeing it, but it was really good. I had like just as much fun as I did the first time. There's a lot of things I forgot about, so it was kind of like seeing it for the first time. I like barely remembered anything because we've been watching a bunch of the Aardman like stop motion movies and short films and stuff, and we're kind of continuing with that and also some other things. So I might be doing more reviews of these. I don't know, like we watched all the Wallace and Gromit movies and shorts. I thought about doing a review of those, but I wanted to do this one instead because so far this has been my favorite. I think we're rewatching Arthur Christmas like in a week or so. That one I've seen before. I might talk about that too because it's pretty good. Maybe I'll make that like a Christmas time review. But anyway, the Pirates. It's interesting to me with the title for this. I think in England it's like it has like scientists in the title or something, like in the UK. But then the posters I was finding, it's called The Pirates Band of Misfits. I feel like I kind of like that title better, but I get what the scientist thing is for because it's also about scientists a bit. Like Charles Darwin is surprisingly the secondary character, which I find kind of funny because I don't think he's even on the poster or anything. But yeah, the pirate characters, like once you get towards like the fight with the villain and stuff, they're just not really there that much. Sorry, I have like some notes. My brain's kind of all over the place because I'm like very sleepy, but I really wanted to talk about this before I went to bed. But yeah, overall, let me start with my general thoughts. Overall, good movie. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it a bit more than Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit I like. It's kind of like cozy in a way, but I think this was nice to watch, especially like with friends because it's like a bit more fast paced. It's like an action adventure movie. But they're both really good. I'm not gonna be really like comparing them or anything. This one, it's just genuinely like really funny. I laughed at a lot of stuff in this. I think this movie, like, it's fun to watch like when you're by yourself, of course, but I think it's one of those that kind of improves if you're like watching with a group of friends and stuff. There's so many fun little like visual gags. Like I think one of the only ones I wrote down was there's this part when Charles Darwin, I think when he gets introduced, there's like an octopus that lands on his head, and I noticed that the eyes, because the octopus, it's like small, it's like on top of his head, you can't see Charles Darwin's eyes, and the octopus eyes are moving in the same ways like Charles Darwin's would. Just there's stuff like that, or someone will be attacked and then in the next shot you'll see them and they'll be like still in pain. There's just like a lot of attention to detail as well in terms of like what the characters are doing and stuff. No one's ever really static, that I appreciated. I thought was cool, or something that would like briefly like a gag would end up happening again, that by the time it happens you would have already forgotten about it. Like the thing for me was there's this part when they're showing a map, it's like towards the beginning of the movie, and my friends kind of teased me a little about this too, where I said I thought the joke was gonna go a different way because on the map they show it's like an image of a sea monster. And I said, oh, I thought the joke would finish, like it would cut to the actual sea monster, and it didn't. And then the group said something like, oh, you'll see later or whatever. And then literally at the end of the movie, because there's like a bunch of like credit scenes, I was surprised by that. They're only each like a couple seconds long, but I still thought it was cool. It's one of those like, where did everyone end up sort of things. And the sea monster shows up in that. And at that point, you know, at the end of the movie, I had completely forgotten about that, and then there it is, and it kind of finishes like the joke of the joke that I made that wasn't even part of the movie. It was like the wrong joke, and then the movie remembered about that. So that was pretty cool. What else? I felt like part of my brain was distracted with this movie because it's about pirates, and I was thinking about One Piece during parts of the movie, when the characters, they're in London and there's this sign. I think it's like the first time they go to London, and there's this sign about pirates not being welcome. Well, no, it's like a two-sided sign, and the side of the sign that the characters see, because they're pirates, is something about like "Welcome to London," and one of the side characters is like, "Oh, cool! They must be really friendly here. What were we worried about?" And then the sign flips, and it says something about like, "Unless you're pirates" or whatever, and it was that kind of made me think of One Piece with like the Marines and stuff. Let me see what else. I kind of forgot in terms of things I forgot. I forgot about the plot, actually. Like, I remembered a little bit of things. I remembered they meet Charles Darwin. Speaking of Charles Darwin, actually, this was the first note I had written in my notes. I know that David Tennant's Scottish, and he sounds like really, really Scottish, but he'll like use an English accent a lot of the times, like in his roles, and it was weird hearing it here. I mean, I've seen him use it in like other stuff, but in my mind I always associate him as like the 10th Doctor, and with that accent and like sounding the way he does as the 10th Doctor. So it was like weird hearing that here, but I'm like, in my mind I'm like, because you hear his voice for his character like when he's introduced, like before he's actually on screen, and in my brain I immediately was like, oh, it's the Doctor, and then it's Charles Darwin. But yeah, that was weird for me. I even mentioned it to my pals. I was like, wait, that's David Tennant. We're not watching Doctor Who. We actually did watch Doctor Who at some point, but it was only a little bit of like the 9th Doctor. I think it was just the episode Rose. Anyway, but no, he's not playing a character like the Doctor here. He's playing Charles Darwin, who's this incel scientist that... Because the plot... let me briefly talk about the plot of this movie. The plot... is that the main character, he's literally just named the pirate captain, like that's his legal name or whatever, and he wants to be, there's like a pirate competition to be best pirates, king of the pirate type thing. We were making jokes about One Piece at that point as well. And the pirate captain, I'm gonna call him the main character, because I feel like preferring them as the pirate captain is gonna get kind of confusing, because there's like other pirate captains. The main character, he wants to win like Pirate of the Year or whatever, and he always loses because he's not like a really good pirate. The other pirate captain that's on the poster, I think she's voiced by Salma Hayek. I thought she was gonna be more of a character in this movie, and she wasn't. She's in it for like 5 minutes from what I remember, this character, where she's like, I think the former winner of best pirate of the year or whatever. I was a little disappointed. I thought her design, I liked her big pirate hat, I liked her design, I thought it was cool. It kind of at least the hat reminded me of like Risky Boots from Shantae. Anyway, so the main character, he wants to win Pirate of the Year. He's like invading all these ships. He ends up meeting, him and his crew end up meeting Charles Darwin. The pirate crew, the like main pirate crew, they have like a pet dodo or whatever, and Charles Darwin is basically like, holy shit, you have an extinct bird that no one's seen in years because everyone thinks it's extinct, and there it is. And they make this deal of like getting Charles Darwin to the science competition or whatever with the dodo, and the pirates think that they're gonna get golds, but the actual prize, the one that Charles Darwin actually wants, is like an audience with Queen Victoria. because like he wants to date her and stuff, and he thinks if he brings her the dodo she's gonna want to date him. She doesn't. She's the villain of the movie. She's pretty cool. It's kind of funny, she keeps saying this stuff about like her being short and being kind of like little old me kind of a thing to people, and I'm like, why is she like that? But it's because she's like trying to come off as like unassuming and, you know, like not a threat, even though she's very much a threat. She has a fight with the characters at the end. That's pretty cool. She wears this dress that, you know, that like hoop sort of shape that those like old-timey dresses have, or people would have to wear that, like the cage looking thing to like make the dress that shape. I don't remember what it's called. You assume she has that, and instead it's like some kind of robot weaponry going on there. Me and somebody else were like surprised by that, of like, whoa, what the heck? No, and then it just turns out she's wearing like pants or something underneath, and then it turns out she's like a kick-ass sword fighter or whatever. So they have like a sword fight or something. That was cool. It's funny, it's like this is the second movie I've seen today where the main character has a sword fight with the villain. Oh, the other one I watched was also British, now that I think about it. It was The King's Man. Not Kingsman, but the prequel. Anyway, what else? I got like a little off track with my notes because I was describing the plot. But yeah, she's a fun villain with her. I'll get back to my notes in a minute, actually. She wants the dodo because she's part of this society of like world leaders and stuff, except for some reason Uncle Sam is there. It like threw me off at first. I was looking and it's like I couldn't really recognize any of them. I think one of my friends pointed out Napoleon was there, but it like goes so fast looking through like the table of people that Queen Victoria sits with. For they eat animals, they eat like the dodo and stuff. That's the goal. And then I'm like, wait, is that Uncle Sam? It was just funny. I mean, I guess Uncle Sam would probably be more recognizable in that sense of like representing like America rather than, you know, whoever the U.S. president is at the wait, I don't think they'd have a U.S. president. No, they had America listed on the map. I don't think they'd have a president at this time. I don't actually remember when this movie takes place, but I'm like, wait a minute. Possibly not. Yeah, okay, I guess that's probably but the fact that Uncle Sam's there, but he's not like a real person, he's like a propaganda person that's on all the posters and stuff. Okay, what else? But yeah, I forgot about the whole point in the movie when they go to the science competition. That part was actually fun. The pirates, they have to pretend to be scientists. There's some like funny jokes with that of like them trying to blend in. Well, I think they first originally tried to get in there as Girl Scouts, not under that name though. It's like referred to as Girl Guides, Guide Scouts. It's something like that, but it's basically like Girl Scouts or something. There's a joke that's kind of funny when there's these like chemicals or whatever that end up destroying their disguises, and the scientist disguise is destroyed, and it's the Girl Guides, and they're like, you're not scientists. It's the scientists that are saying this, by the way. They're like, you're not scientists, you're Girl Guides. And then that costume is burned up, and then they're like, you're not Girl Guides, you're pirates. And I know it doesn't sound funny with me recounting that, but it was kind of funny. I want to talk about my favorite character in the movie. So Charles Darwin trained a monkey to be a butler, so he's like this monkey butler. I don't know how much like human equivalent intelligence the monkey butler has. He wears like a little butler costume or something. He can't verbally speak, but he has these little like cards, not like playing cards, but like the name cards you have at like dinner kind of cards. And the cards, it almost reminds me of like silent films where each card for the monkey butler uses has like a word on it. And it's in this like fancy little font too. I can't remember if it has quotation marks for some of them. I think so. I'm not completely sure. But yeah, the monkey butler has a card for like freaking every situation, to the point where he'll like flip really fast through the cards and be able to form like full sentences. Or not really like full sentences, but like, I mean, he probably could, but it'll be like short phrases, or it'll be like, oh no, or there's like 3 cards that represent like dun dun dun. But since it's like you think it's the same word, right? Except one of them would have an exclamation point at the end, and you think it would just be one card because it's the same word, and he would just like, I don't know, hold it up 3 times. But instead it's 3 separate cards that just have the same word, just to be able to get that like dun 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 joke across. There's just stuff like that with the monkey butler that's just kind of funny. I mean, I didn't find that particularly bit funny, but like just this whole usage of the cards. And he ends up being a main character. I think he's the one that like saves the dodo at the end, or he's there for that with Charles Darwin and pirate captain. Yeah, he's on. Okay, I wasn't looking at the poster. I'm kind of just staring at a wall while I'm talking. I kind of do that a lot for these. But yeah, I just noticed on the poster, that's him. He's right there in the poster. He has more visibility on the poster than Charles Darwin, who is the secondary character, and I find that really funny. But yeah, that's the monkey butler on the right, and his little uh-oh card. That's exactly what the cards look like. They're like kind of fancy and stuff. But yeah, monkey butler's great. I don't know what his actual name is. I like the joke when he gets introduced, and Charles Darwin literally says something of like, yeah, I gave him pants to cover up his unseemly ass. I thought it was funny he did actually use the word ass. I don't know what, and in this case it's used in like the literal context, not like the calling someone an asshole or related to donkeys or whatever. I don't know what the movie's rated. I'm assuming it's like PG or something, but I was still kind of surprised they got away with saying ass. The soundtrack's really good. A lot of rock, a lot of like upbeat stuff. I think they have some songs from The Clash as well, but yeah, soundtrack's just really fun. I'm gonna probably look it up, let me see if I can find it on Spotify. I'm gonna look at my phone. So sometimes I mention about looking up soundtracks and I forget, and I feel bad about that, because sometimes I want to let you know of like, hey, I found the soundtrack to whatever. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. It's on Spotify. Okay, I was wrong. The only song from The Clash is London Calling. That's when they're going to London. And then there's a bunch of like original songs in here as well. And then they have the Supergrass song All Right in the credits. That's actually one of my favorite songs. So that was cool. I don't remember the girl from Ipanema in there, but they're giving me the Frank Sinatra version on this. Oh, this isn't the soundtrack. It's a playlist. Okay, yeah, it's a playlist. It's an hour and 38 minutes long. I'm sure the actual soundtrack is on here. It's by Theodore Shapiro. I guess is the person who did the music for the movie. But yeah, music's good. Currently adding the soundtrack on the playlist on my Spotify right now. I think some of the things I'm a little disappointed. Well, one thing I'm disappointed with. It's called The Pirates, right? The main character is the pirate captain. It's like literally what he's called. You'd think it would be an adventure that's kind of like a road trip movie or something, of them going on this like really long adventure, and they're out in the seven seas or whatever, and you know, the crew, the like pirate crew, would be like more involved and stuff. But it's kind of not. They're only out on the ocean, like I think at the beginning, and then they end up going to London, and then I think they just stay in London the rest of the no, they don't. But the pirate crew is only in the movie like towards the beginning, and then it's like once they get to London and they do the scientist stuff, then it just ends up being the pirate captain and Charles Darwin, which is fine. They're like, I sort of get it, they're like the two main characters and stuff, but I think there's a lot of fun like side characters in terms of the pirate crew, and for being a movie about pirates, I'm a bit disappointed that they don't get more time. I wanted to know specifically, there's a female pirate, she's on there, that wears the orange beard that's like pretending to be a dude, and I want to know what her life story is, of why she's on this why she's like wanting to be a pirate and stuff. And if the characters never, she wears like an obviously fake beard. The characters, it's one of those things where they're like too stupid to notice the disguise, and they make a joke about it during the credits. I don't remember what it was. I wanted to know what her life story was. I like the way some of the pirate characters are credited, names, whatever, in the credits themselves. Like I remember there's one, it's something along the lines of like pirate that like sunsets and kittens or whatever, and that was pretty funny. Actually, the credits are really cool, not just because they have like a bunch of little like extra scenes in there, but also there's like a bunch of details. It's all of these posters of things, lots of posters of Ham actually, that are in the credits. What else? There's something I'm forgetting. Oh, there's a meme. Well, I don't know how many memes are from this movie, but there's at least one meme. It's the one of the pirate captain, and it says, well, yes, but also no, or whatever. It's something like that. I might have gotten it backwards. I had thought that meme, well, okay, the first time I'd watched the movie. The second time, well, my friends had shown me the clip from where it's from. I'm going to explain that in a minute. I had just assumed the meme was from the movie, you know, because it's a character from the movie and it has the subtitle and whatever. And then I was really disappointed the first time I watched the movie, because I think that's how the movie was brought to my attention. I like saw the meme and I kept seeing it, and I was like, why does this look like the art style of the people that make Wallace and Gromit? What is this? And then I watched it and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I had originally thought the meme was from the movie. I mean, it's good that got me to watch the movie in the first place, but yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you. The meme is not in the actual movie at all. It's from some kind of like short video. I don't know if it's like a promotional video. It's with some of the characters. I think it's with the like Pirate King and the pirate captain. One of my friends was trying to find the video, and this was like at the time I'm recording this and stuff. He probably would have found it by the time this gets posted, but was trying to find the video that had like, because we saw a clip of it which included the meme. I think it's on like YouTube or something, but the actual thing that it's from, we couldn't really find it. Yeah, I'm curious about that myself, because I wanted to know what like the full context was. But yeah, that's where the pirate meme is from, of the, well, yes, but actually no, it's technically from this movie, just not the movie itself. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. It's just really fun. I feel like I don't have a lot to say with it. I was so invested in the movie itself as we were watching that I wasn't really like paying attention enough in the way I do sometimes, or I'm like taking notes, or I see things in the movie where I'm like, oh, this is a thing I'll talk about later, or that I should probably write down because I'll need to talk about it later. I mean, sometimes I do it like the way I did with this, where I'm watching the movie and I'm just enjoying it, and things pop up, and I'm like, oh, that would be cool to talk about if I make a video on it, which I did. I almost wasn't gonna make the video, and then I thought, nah, I liked this. Sometimes I like a movie and I'm just casually watching it, just for fun, and a lot of the time I don't make a video because I don't really have much to say, but because I watched this one with friends, which when you watch a movie alone and you watch a movie with friends, it's like a very different experience, I think, no matter what the movie is, and that's like a very new thing for me, because I'm used to just watching movies myself. For movies like this, I think it just makes it more fun. I recommend it that way, just because it's like a like kids action adventure movie. I mean, it's not probably specifically for kids, but you know what I mean. Like family friendly. It's funner with a group. Oh yeah, Chicken Run is mentioned on the poster. I didn't really care for Chicken Run the first time I watched it. I thought it was okay. I think we might be watching that as well. So maybe you'll get a review on that, or Arthur Christmas. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Pirates. Yeah, it's oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Main character is voiced by Hugh Grant. I'm so used to him from like the 90s, early 2000s, like rom-coms and stuff. I've seen him in other stuff. He's what's a more modern thing? The villain in Paddington 2. But yeah, I'm so used to associating his voice with his face that it was kind of weird. Like I didn't I sort of recognized his voice with like the main character, but it fit well, probably because he sounds like older here and stuff. I don't remember what year this movie's from. Like his voice really fit the pirate captain character, that like as I was watching I wasn't thinking like, oh, that's Hugh Grant, and I feel like normally that's a good thing, but in this case I don't know, I felt disappointed. I think just because I really like him as an actor. I don't know. Okay, yeah, but that's the end of my thoughts on this. But yeah, overall good movie. It's fun. I'll probably watch it again sometime. I saw that it was on like Tubi or something. I added it to my list. I actually have like a bunch of movies on there. I completely forget about Tubi sometimes because I usually just log into it on my computer and not on a TV. But maybe I'll check out some of the movies I have on my list there. I have a lot of like older movies and horror and some other stuff. There was one I wanted to watch that was like the movie that inspired Clock Tower. So we'll have to see. All right, bye bye.